What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Nikolai Espresso and welcome back to another video here today on the channel. In this one, we're going back into some Black Ops 3 content, taking a little bit of a break from the 2017 information, speculation, all that good stuff that you guys have been absolutely killing in support the past couple of days, so thank you guys for that. But this one, we're going back to Black Ops 3 and kind of putting on either our thinking cap or our tinfoil hat. Whatever way you want to look at it, it is something we're going to be diving deep into some speculation and some theories regarding some content in 2017 that may or may not have been hinted at with the most recent DLC content drop in supply drops. For those of you guys that have been paying attention to Call of Duty in general and maybe YouTube, Twitter, and other social medias that you may follow where there are people that talk about Call of Duty on a daily basis, you may have known that there were some weapons, the PPSH and the M16, introduced to the game this past week. Now, this specific little speculation and theory that we're going to be talking about is dealing directly with the M16. That is one of the classic weapons reintroduced within Black Ops 3, but based off the idea of this video, it's got a little bit of an Easter egg that we want to discuss within this one. So let's talk about this here. There's not too much about the M16 that is out of ordinary, that is out of place, except for one very minute detail that you might not even notice if you play around with the M16 just on a casual basis. If you don't actually take a look at the weapon and inspect it for what it is, you might not even notice this at all. But whenever it was advertised, whenever you see it in the in-game images, it does have an Ace of Hearts attached to it by some straps wrapped around the stock of the weapon. Now, initially, whenever I first saw this, it was something that I was like, you know what, it's part of the February contraband, it's just a little tease and a little nod towards Valentine's Day coming up, and nothing really more than that. So that at the very immediate start of this weapon being played around with, being introduced in a Black Ops 3, that was my immediate thought, and I kind of just dismissed it as such. However, my good friend Dismo came up to me and asked me if I had known anything about this. I believe the day after that the weapon was introduced, maybe the night that it was introduced, but he ended up coming up to me and saying, "Have you noticed anything different about this M16?" And so I didn't really understand what he was saying, but he pointed out that the card on the M16 randomly will change to a Joker. It gets away from the Ace of Hearts. He doesn't know what triggers it. I personally don't know what triggers it because I don't have the weapon itself on my account to play around with, but he says that it randomly will change from an Ace of Hearts to a Joker. And this is something that is really interesting because this kind of takes that whole idea of the Valentine's Day card, a little Easter egg here for it, and takes that and throws it out the window. Instead, we now have something a little bit more intricate, something that deals a little bit more with a specific playing card, and that's something that really gets everybody thinking because the last time that we saw some things with the playing cards, we got a 10th specialist, Blackjack. That was our first initial clues. Around various parts of specific maps, we got some things with playing cards, but more specifically, the one that is most known is on Gauntlet from the first map pack Awakening in Black Ops 3. In the specialist display cases, there is one that is scratched out and empty, and only sitting in it is a playing card denoted as the Jack of Spades. Blackjack, if you will. So the last time that we saw something like this, it was a direct hint towards something that was coming up, so perhaps this now means that we might be getting an 11th specialist. Maybe this is an indication that this is going to deal with something a little bit more coming in the future, because as we know, Treyarch are going to be supporting Black Ops 3 throughout the life cycle of Call of Duty 2017, something that we have not seen ever in Call of Duty, having 3 major titles all updated and labeled as current games in one single year. So this is something that, other than DLC weapons, there's still a lot of unknowns on the table for what will actually lead up for the next 9 months of this year. So there's a lot that can fill that time. Perhaps an 11th specialist is in fact the case, but if we want to play, say, devil's advocate, play the other side of the storyline here and not jump to some major conclusions, perhaps it links back just to Blackjack. Maybe this is something that, again, is that playing card that hints back towards the Blackjack that we already know of, a little bit of an Easter egg just surrounding the universe and circling back for some things and not necessarily pointing towards it again. However, one other interesting little thing here and one direct Easter egg is the fact that this is not the first time that we've seen the Joker playing card that is on the M16 before in Call of Duty. This is something that actually goes all the way back to World at War. This was actually an original death card from World at War. If you guys remember that, they were some cards that gave some specific effects to how players can play the game and the campaign in World at War, and this was one of the originals, designated to the Sticks and Stones challenge, which gave your weapon arsenal nothing but a knife and grenades, which might not be the best, but it definitely was a tough challenge. But it was on the mission Their Land, Their Blood, and it was something that you could find within that mission, and therefore it's history now. It goes down as the lore and something that is 100% factually seen in World at War. So this thing goes all the way back to World at War, and that is something that I think is not only just intriguing in itself, but also maybe what is the reasoning behind this, other than to just pay homage to a great game that Treyarch has made before. But I just feel like there's something different here about this, that there's going to be something a little bit further hinted at as time goes on, and something is introduced later on. But that is, we're gonna wrap it up. I would love to hear your thoughts here on this. Once again, tinfoil hats on completely for this one, all the speculation out on the table, and I'd love to hear your thoughts here down there in the comment section down below. Once again, this could be absolutely nothing, but I think that the way that Treyarch works, there's gotta be something here to it. Otherwise, why would a card specifically made for the side of an M16, a brand new DLC weapon, why would that change, and why would it deal so much with the playing cards that we've already seen hinting towards other things previously in Black Ops 3. Love to get your opinions and thoughts and feedback here on this, so drop it down there in the comment section down below. If you guys did enjoy the video though, make sure you drop a like down below, and if you guys are new to the channel, maybe consider subscribing to stay up to date with everything Black Ops 3, Modern Warfare Remastered, Infinite Warfare, COD 2017 of course, and anything relating to Call of Duty. I got you covered here on the channel. And if you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, that is the best place to get connected with me here outside of YouTube. I practically live on Twitter, so if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, link is down there in the description below. And finally, click either of the two videos on screen right now. One will take you to the idea and the notion that zombies will be in Call of Duty 2017, and the other one will take you to an absolutely awesome piece of news for Call of Duty 2017 and what we'll be seeing here out of that. But thank you dudes so much for watching. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. My name is Nikolai Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.